Cole Caufield has been on fire to start the 2022-23 season, and I think he is a true Rocket Richard contender. I'll be talking about that, plus some comments from Coach Martin St. Louis after the game last night, as he speaks out about what he's happy about with the Montreal Canadiens so far. Finally, we'll have a quick prospect update as Filip Mesar and Lane Hutson continue to roll through their respective leagues, so you won't want to miss today's news episode of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to October 30th's edition of Habs Digest. And before we get into the video, another quick reminder, you guys have been doing great with the subscribers. We just hit 1,000 last night after our game recap. I am so excited, but even with 1,000 subscribers, 89.4% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you're enjoying this daily Habs content and you want to be kept up to date with all the news, all the rumors, all the trades, all the game recaps of your favorite team, myself and Jesse will have your back. All right, let's get into the number one topic today, Cole Caufield. So if you watched the game last night, you saw Cole Caufield score another 2 goals. That puts Cole at 7 goals in 9 games this season. Him and Nick Suzuki each have 10 points in the team's first 9 games, and he looks like a star. He looks like one of the best goal scorers in the league right now. I know it's early in the season, and a lot of the time in the early season, you'll have some strange numbers where guys go on short hot streaks to start the season, or even massive cold streaks, like someone, for example, like Austin Matthews. Right now, Christian Dvorak has more goals this year than Austin Matthews, but I digress. Cole Caufield has looked great. Him and Nick Suzuki have had such great chemistry so far, and Cole finally got his first power play goal last night. I think he is a true contender for the Rocket Richard. So my reasoning is that in his time with Martin St. Louis, he has been a top 5 goal scorer in the NHL, I would say, like just pure pace. So far this season, with 7 goals in 9 games, he's on pace for 63. Now, 63 is not going to happen. I think he can hit 50. I think it's possible, but 63 might be a little far-fetched. But let me show you one important stat that I'm going to bring up here to show one reason so far why I think he might win the Rocket Richard. So look at this. This is a leader of even strength goals in the NHL this season so far. And who's right at the top but Cole Caufield? He only has 1 power play goal, and that came last night. You know, he's second in the league in goals. Him and a bunch of other players have 7, with Connor McDavid having 8. But look, you don't see McDavid here. He has, I believe, 4, maybe even 3 even strength goals, while Cole Caufield doesn't need this power play time to be an excellent goal scorer. He's got 6, leads the NHL so far in even strength. Now, if you look through that list, you saw some interesting names like Gabe Vilardi and Nico Sturm, and those are some of the names that, of course, you know, you're like, well, they just had a really hot start. They're not gonna sustain this. And sure, the same could be true for Cole Caufield, but if you've been watching the same team that I've been watching since Coach St. Louis took over, Cole has been an elite level goal scorer. He's not going to keep up this pace. He's not going to finish with 63 goals, but I think 40 is almost likely at this point, and I think 50 is an outside possibility, and I'm really, really hoping for it. So far, his shooting percentage is a little high. I mean, you know, when you look at these top goal scorers, their shooting percentage, or if you're unfamiliar with what that is, essentially the percentage of shots that you take on net that end up being goals. If he continues his shooting pace for the amount of shots per game that he takes, and he shoots, let's say, 15%, which is definitely above average as a shooting percentage, he'll end somewhere, you know, in the 30s in his goals scored. Mid-30s, that'd be great. But if this power play starts clicking like we saw last night, I think the sky is the limit. Montreal has had such power play struggles to start this season, and last night against St. Louis, where we scored 7 goals as a team, 2 of them on the power play, we finally saw a glimpse of what this Montreal power play can look like when our concepts are put in place in the proper way. So I think if this power play keeps clicking and Cole gets all that power play time, I think the sky's the limit. I think he is going to be a legitimate Rocket Richard contender. And Montreal, you and your fans and me, we're going to have to prepare for Cole Caufield's massive payday coming up not too far from now. Let's get into topic number 2. So I spoke a bit about Coach Marty in that last segment, but after last night's game, after last night's big 7-4 win against St. Louis, if you missed that game or want to catch up on any of the details, we posted a video last night, one of our more successful videos. You guys seem to love it. We spoke about Slafkovsky, Dvorak, and Caufield, and everyone else. But after the game last night, Coach Marty came out and he spoke out about the team, about how they're performing. Let me show you some of the quotes about what he said. Talking about Juraj Slafkovsky, because we all saw him score his first power play goal as a Montreal Canadien last night. And here's what Coach St. Louis had to say about him. Quote, he played very strong physically tonight. And like I said, it's a process for Slav at 18. He's got a nice skill package, but he's got to figure out what kind of player he's going to be in this league, what style he's going to have to play, and he's going through that right now. And tonight, we saw what we know we have in a big boy for an 18-year-old, and he played like a big boy tonight. And if you have been watching this channel and you have been listening to me and Jesse talk about Slafkovsky and how we want him on higher lines, how I want him on the power play, this quote is really awesome to see. Of course, he does say this kid is 18 years old. He has such a large, bright future ahead of him. But we're seeing now these first glimpses of the kind of player he could end up being. His shot is hard. It's fairly accurate. He's a hard worker, and he is a big body that fights for pucks, and he's a menace when people are coming towards him. He's a scary presence. 6'4" as an 18-year-old. And last night, as Coach St. Louis said, it was probably his best game. We saw a glimpse of what we might get 4 or 5 years down the line. Isn't it crazy to think about this? In 5 years, in 2027, Juraj is only going to be 23 years old, still not even close to hitting his prime, probably a few years away from it. And we're seeing some great signs from him so far, and Coach St. Louis certainly seems happy. But he's not just happy with Juraj. Mr. Slafkovsky, Mr. Slovakia, the man who's bringing all the Slovakian fans into these Habs Digest videos, he's happy with everyone on the team. Quote, it's a fun environment right now, and we have to earn that fun. The fun is something you earn every day, and I think we're doing that. Whether we win or lose the game, I think we're earning our fun. Now, this quote might seem a little strange, might be tough to understand, but it's a little insightful. Essentially, Coach Marty St. Louis said, because it's a young locker room. We look at the players in the Montreal Canadiens. Sure, we have some, grizzled veterans, some older guys. And, well, when we say grizzled veterans, I mean, I'm talking about the likes of maybe Armia, who's a little old. He's not even that old. And then Edmondson, I think, is not even 30. And Matheson. We do have some veterans. I wouldn't classify these guys as kids, but look at the amount of kids we have on the team. Nick Suzuki, Cole Caufield, Juraj Slafkovsky. It's so, well, Kirby Dach, I should mention him too, and of course, pretty much everyone on our defense. But it's a fun young group. Guys like Caden Gooley, Arbor Jacki, bringing some interesting personalities to the team. Cole is such a fun guy. Juraj is so confident. These guys want to have fun in the NHL, and that's how you succeed, when you believe in yourself, you believe in each other, and you have fun while out on the ice, in practice, in the locker room, wherever. And, the fun only comes if you're earning it. And what Coach St. Louis is talking about is that these guys are working their butts off day in and day out. They're going into these games against teams that are supposedly much better than them and winning, not only winning, beating a team like St. Louis 7-4, finally getting 2 power play goals. These guys are working hard. They're buying in to everything the coaches are saying, and they believe in each other. And when you do that, you earn whatever fun you want to have on or off the ice. I mean, even if they lose, they know they're not going to win every single game. They know they're young. They know they don't have the top-end talent in the NHL, but they're having fun doing it, and that's what's important. These guys are going to believe in each other, believe in the coaches, and this team will rocket to the moon in a couple years, mark my words. So, enough about Coach St. Louis. Let's get a little final bit in here about some Habs prospects. And if you've been watching the videos, you know I love to talk about Filip Mesar. And man, does he look good. Filip Mesar had just a rocket roof job one-timer in his game for the Kitchener Rangers in the OHL last night. Again, a Montreal first-round pick this past year. Another Slovakian, 2 Slovakians in the first round, and Juraj and Mesar. And he looks too good for the OHL, straight up. I mean, I'm seeing comments from OHL fans on every Filip Mesar tweet or video. They're saying, why is this guy here? He's way too good. And remember, he is also 18. He looks incredible. I cannot wait to see him. He's going to have to stay in the OHL until the end of this season. But maybe next year we'll see him in Laval. And maybe as a 19, 20-year-old, he'll play some games for Montreal. I'm really excited from what I've seen from him. But not only him, Lane Hutson as well. Another draft selection from Montreal this year in the 2022 draft. He's a small, fiery, offensive defenseman. And he plays in the NCAA right now. But he is over a point per game in the NCAA as a defenseman at the moment. I believe it's 8 points in 7 games or 9 points in 8 games, something like that. And he was actually interviewed just today or perhaps yesterday. And I thought a little fun tidbit I wanted to bring into this video is that he was asked about Arber Xhekaj, because of course they spent some time together, in training camp this season. He said he loves Arber Xhekaj, he loves the nickname Wi-Fi, and he loves what Xhekaj stands for. He sees Xhekaj out there laying the body if anyone's going after any of his teammates, as we saw on Juraj Slafkovsky's first NHL goal against Arizona when Xhekaj took out Josh Brown after the cheap shot on Slafkovsky. He said he loves how Xhekaj does that. And that, I couldn't help but think, in that moment, Lane Hutson, this very small, fiery offensive defenseman, and Arber Xhekaj, this big, tall, strong-bodied defenseman, could they ever share the ice together in Montreal? Xhekaj protecting the little guy in Lane Hutson? I mean, I don't know. I think that could be pretty fun to watch if it ever comes to that. But anyway, Hutson and Mesar have been amazing. Hutson seems to love his potential future Montreal teammates, and all seems well right now in Montreal. But that'll do it for today's news video. If you liked, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel. Yeah, we hit 1,000, but screw 1,000. We're going for 5,000. We want to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the season. You guys managed to get us to 1,000 subs in 2 weeks. 5,000 is going to be easy for you guys. Share it with anyone that would enjoy. Stay subscribed. Turn on the bell for all your daily Montreal Canadiens news. I'm Josh Gosse, and we'll see you in the next video.